Welcome to Business Education and Research. In this video, we will explain how to calculate compound interest with practical example for interest compounded half yearly. The problem is given here. Calculate the amount of interest earned when 1,500 is deposited at 10% compound interest for 3 years, which is compounded half yearly. So the key points of the problem is presented here. The compound interest formula is given here. A is equal to P into 1 plus R by N power of N into T. So A is equal to final amount, that is the future value of the cash inflow. How much we are going to get back along with principals and interest. So the initial amount called principal plus interest to be earned on the deposit is called A, that is final amount. Then P is equal to principal amount that is given in the question. 1,500 is given in the question. Annual interest rate 10%, that is also available in the question. 10% is equal to 0.10. N is equal to compounding interest periods per year. So that is also given in the question, half yearly. So interest is compounded half yearly means yearly twice. 2. N is equal to 2. T is equal to time period, that is the total investment duration, holding period. So the deposit period is for 3 years. So T is equal to 3. So let us solve this question step by step. First we have to remember the formula. The formula is to find out the A, that is the final amount. The final amount is going to tell you the principal plus interest amount. So A is equal to P into 1 plus R by N power of N into T. So we are going to use this formula and plug in the values given in the question to the given formula. So A is equal to 1,500 into 1,500 is the principal amount. 1 plus R is equal to 0.10, that is interest rate, divided by N. N is equal to number of times interest is compounded, that is twice a year, half yearly. So 2 is the N. So N into T, 2 into T. T is equal to the total investment period, time period of the investment, 3 years. So let us use this formula to arrive at the answer. Then calculate the value one by one. Finally, you will get the final amount. A is equal to 1,500 multiplied by 1.3401. So therefore A is equal to 2010.10. So let us calculate. A means what? The total future cash inflow, that is the final amount, that includes principal plus interest. So the formula given here is to find out the future cash inflow, that is the final amount, A. So that is going to include principal amount plus interest. We know about principal, that is given in the question. We know the interest rate. We know the time period. We know how the interest is calculated, that is compounded half yearly, but we don't know the exact amount of interest that we are going to receive. So therefore, by using this formula, we will find out the total future cash inflow. So principal is given, interest rate is given, N is given, T is given. So A is calculated, A is determined, that is 2010.10. A is equal to the total future cash inflow, that is including principal amount and interest component. Okay, so let us calculate the interest component from this answer. Interest is equal to A minus P. A is equal to what? The total future cash inflow that includes principal plus interest. So we know the principal amount. Principal is already given in the question as 1,500. So therefore A minus P, that is 2010.10, this amount, minus 1,500, you get 510.10. This is the interest amount. So we found the future cash inflow, that is 2010. A, the P is given in the question 1,500. So A minus P, 2010.15 minus 1,500, you get 510.15. This is the interest earned on the deposit. So therefore, the final answer is interest earned on the deposit is 510.15. So please remember, the principal amount is given in the question. Interest rate R is given in the question. The investment period is also given in the question, 3 years. The number of times interest is calculated, that is compounded, is also given the question as half yearly. Half yearly means twice a year, so n is equal to 2. So what is missing? The total amount of interest that we are going to earn is missing. So by finding out A, you can find out the interest also, because A is going to tell you the total amount of principal amount plus interest. P is given the question. So A minus P, you get interest amount. So P is given the question, R is given the question, N is given the question, T is given the question, but the interest amount is not given the question. So therefore, by finding out A, you can deduct P from A so that you can find out the answer. So this is how we found 510.15 as interest amount.